But I will speak about Islam or Muslims in America, which is not my area of specialty, but as a conscious Muslim and an African American, I have to know what's going on. And I have taught courses on Islam in America, and I've taught courses on Islam among African Americans, and it is from this material that I will speak to you today. And so you will know where I'm going. I will start with the discussion about the U.S. Constitution and why and how that makes a difference to the spread of Islam in America. And then I will go and do a brief history of Muslims in America. And then I will talk about what I call post-September 11. That is one of the periods of history, but it has made some profound changes on the ground, and I think that will bring me to my concluding remarks. First, amendment to the Constitution guarantees freedom of religion. It also guarantees freedom from the government's intervention into one's religion. So both freedom to practice and also freedom from the government. America is a secular democracy, but our First Amendment allows the point that the professor raised. A person can choose to observe any religion, and there are certain protections that the government has to offer. So, for example, before the law, we are all supposed to be equal, but in America, where we have free and compulsory education, that is, all children must go to school, and they must be provided by that education by the state. The usual occasion for holiday coincides with certain Christian special occasions. It just happens that the major winter holiday also covers Christmas. So it means that actually the Christian holiday is observed as a vacation from school or from work, or but my children are Muslim, and in order for their education to be equal, on the days of the Eid, that is the two celebrations of our main holidays as Muslims, they are free from attendance. That is, I can take them out of school, and the school cannot mark them absent. That is, I will inform the school that this is a religious holiday, and I will take my children out of school for that day. They will not be marked absent, because Christians are not marked absent for celebrating Christmas, so you cannot mark Muslims absent for celebrating the Eid. They will not be marked absent. They will be excused. If there is any work that is going on during the time that they are out of school for the Eid, then the teacher must make compensation that my children would be able to get that work when they return, even if there is an exam. If there is an exam and I have already informed the school that my children will be out of school for Eid celebration, then the teacher must give the exam to my children when they return. They must make special arrangements to make sure that they don't miss anything and that they are not marked absent. So in other words, I exercise my equality before the law and my freedom of religion to have this holiday from a compulsory education for the day of our holiday, because it is the only way for us to both practice our religion and to be equal before the law. Muslims have understood this and have taken exemption from other parts of the school curriculum if they see fit, not just Muslims. but we have creationist Christians who do not want the school to teach, the Darwinian evolutionary theory, and they can exert their opinion over the school to have their children excused and to have something substituted for it. So the interaction of religious freedom even interferes with the mandatory. Education is both free and mandatory. So our children must get this education, and it must be provided by the state. Muslims have also exercised it because eventually Muslims, as again other persons of other religions and people of no religion, have exercised their will to construct additional schools, private schools. So we have a proliferation of private Muslim schools in America. We have thousands of Muslim schools in America. And not just Muslim students go there, but mostly Muslim students. And not just Muslim teachers, but mostly Muslim teachers. As long as the school fulfills the basic subject matters, reading, writing, arithmetic, then the school is also eligible for funds from the state. And the reason is because every taxpayer in America, which is most people, because if you own a house, you pay property taxes, those taxes are used to construct the schools for your children. If you take your children out of the public school, which is free, and you are still paying taxes, then the state still owes your child free and compulsory education. So funds can be given to provide for the private school if it meets certification. It doesn't matter that in addition to reading and writing, we also have Sirah and Quran and the like. So governments pay for Muslim private schools as long as the Muslim private school also fulfills the requirement of free and compulsory education. And parents can individually apply to the state for tuition because, again, as taxpayers, they are paying for what is constituted free education, but their children are not getting that free education because they're in a Muslim private school, and the state will pay them because they have paid taxes. The state will pay them and towards their tuition. So it is an interesting way that the law works, where education, that every child must have the education and it must be provided according to their needs and for free. But you can take your child out of the school and then you can charge the state in order to either run the school, not completely, but I mean, to subsidize, or tuition for you to pay for the private Islamic education that you have selected. So this is our exercising of our First Amendment rights. It gives us the space not only to have the free and compulsory education, but to build private Islamic schools and then have the government pay for it. The First Amendment right also gives us the space to establish Muslim places of worship, that is the mosque, and the other word that we use is an Islamic center. Being a minority, often the mosque will function in ways more than just a place for salah. It will function as a meeting place. There will also be a kindergarten. There will be community events, bake sales, iftar, a library, other resources that come together in what is usually called an Islamic center. And again, there are thousands of these mosques and Islamic centers across America. You cannot go into any major city in America, but that you will find several. You can literally look in the telephone book and find them. Usually they will have a section on, churches or places of worship, and you will see church and mosque and temples and synagogues. They will all be there.